The first question I'm going to ask you today, is Gollum a golem? Let's find out together.
Swappin thoughts.
I'm ready and willing to explore some juicy meats and to compare these two monstrosities. Leave a like and subscribe if you want me in your life. Gollum, originally named Smeagol, was a Store, one of the 3 early hobbit types in the Third Age. By possessing the One Ring, his life extended centuries beyond his nature, and he became deformed and twisted in body and mind by the corruption of the ring. He developed an unusual bond to the ring, causing him to have a split personality. When Bilbo took the ring from Gollum, nothing would stand in his way of obtaining the ring once more. The name Gollum was derived from the sound of his weird cough that sounds like he's gargling marbles while playing patty cake upside down on a swing set. A golem is a creature that is formed out of a lifeless substance, such as dust or earth, that is brought to life by ritual incantations and sequences of Hebrew letters. The golem, brought into being by a human creator, becomes a helper, a companion, or a rescuer of an imperiled Jewish community. In many golem stories, the creature runs amok and the golem itself becomes a threat to its creator. The best known version of the golem legend takes place in Prague and revolves around the studious Rabbi Lo. The first practical instructions on creating a golem is said to be reciting the proper letters of God's name, placing God's name into the golem's mouth, etching it onto the golem's forehead, or placing the Hebrew word for truth into the clay body. Originally, creating a golem was a way for medieval Jewish mystics to come closer to God. Central to the golem legend is the human desire to create, together with a range of themes including creativity, control, power, and salvation. The golem also symbolizes each era's dreaded dangers and hopes for redemption. Do any of you see any similarities between Gollum and Gollum? Because I definitely do. When I ask if Gollum is a golem, I'm not talking about Smeagol. I'm talking about the personality that is placed inside the One Ring, which is Gollum. I want you all to just put your thinking caps on for a second here. Sauron sought world domination, and did so by tricking the best blacksmiths in Middle-earth to construct 9 rings for men, 7 rings for the dwarves, and 3 rings for the elven kings, but secretly made another ring. 1 ring to rule them all. Now please compare this to what we already know about the golem. A golem is formed out of a lifeless substance. So is the ring. A golem is brought into existence by a human creator, or in this case, a humanoid creator. The golem becomes a helper or companion to the creator and his community, just like the ring is a companion to Sauron. We also know that in many golem stories, the creature starts to become a threat to its creator, which one can argue that the ring accidentally does the same thing to Sauron. When the ring abandons Isildur and disappears into the river for 2,500 years, Galadriel says,
"It ensnared a new bearer. The ring came to the creature Gollum, who took it deep into the tunnels of the misty mountains. And there, it consumed him. The ring brought to Gollum unnatural long life. For 500 years it poisoned his mind."
I believe that the ring made a mistake by staying with Smeagol for so long, because that caused the ring's life force to be permanently attached to Smeagol, which will inevitably be Sauron's downfall. Not only that, but the ring did not expect to be picked up by Bilbo Baggins, which does infer another fatal mistake by the ring. Apparently the ring just doesn't know what he's doing. Smeagol now has a split personality, with his other personality being Gollum, the personality of the ring. And what is the ring? It's a golem, bro. Its personality is Gollum, and it is also a golem. More evidence that supports this theory is that during Smeagol's time with the ring, his body kind of turns into a slimy Voldemort's fetus kind of thing. This metamorphosis does kind of show that the true nature of the ring is oozing out of him, just like the pus that comes out of my zits right after my wife tries to pop them. Now let's go back to what the instructions say about what you can do to create a golem. You can recite the proper letters of God's name, place God's name into the golem's mouth, etch it onto the golem's forehead, or place the Hebrew word for truth onto the golem's body. The most important word in these instructions is the word or, because that means that Sauron only has to do one of those things to create a golem. Since a golem is folklore and Middle-earth is in a fantasy land, this is where it gets a little stretchy, if you know what I mean. The incantation that Sauron says when making the One Ring is,
"One ring to rule them all. One ring to find them. One ring to bring them all. And in the darkness, find them."
When translating Jewish folklore into fantasy lore, we can deduce that this incantation is the fantasy version of reciting the proper letters of God's name. Earlier in the video, I also said that the golem used to be a way for medieval Jewish mystics to come closer to God. In the case of Sauron, however, Sauron is a Maiar, putting him in the same class as Gandalf and Saruman. He's essentially a fallen angel who once served the Valar, but now seeks to become the god of Middle-earth. So he's not seeking to become closer to God like the medieval Jewish people. He's trying to become a god through the creation and control of the rings, thus creating a golem intended for evil rather than good. The central themes of creating a golem are creativity, power, control, and salvation. Sauron desires all of these. His creativity in using rings to rule over Middle-earth is quite impressive, I must say. He also constantly seeks power and control, and he desires salvation in the sense that he only seeks salvation for himself, using the rings as protection against his enemy forces. As stated previously, the golem also symbolizes each era's dangers and hopes for redemption. And the ring symbolizes the same exact thing to Sauron. During 587 of the First Age, Sauron flees to Middle-earth after his master Morgoth was defeated during the War of Wrath. He creates his hiding place in Mordor and waits until he is powerful enough to make his redemption over Middle-earth. I understand if you think this is a bit of a stretch, but aren't all theories stretchy? I just feel like that's what a good theory is meant to do. It's kind of meant to make you think about something that you never would have even fathomed. And I hope I did. I really hope you guys enjoyed this theory, and if you did, please share this around. It helps a lot with the channel. And please like and subscribe. That's it, guys. See ya.